All right, time to play around a little bit. This video will be about the reverse grip with swords. And Stuart here is helping me out. He's a little taller, but not dramatically, so we have like reasonably similar reach. First, I have to point out that this is not a dagger. So the reverse grip with knives and daggers, of course, is a completely different story, but this is the kind of thing that you often see in games and movies. There are really very few martial arts systems that I'm aware of that actually use this, like standard-wise. A few have some techniques where they switch from a standard grip to a reverse grip and then do something with that, but I'm not really aware of any that where this is kind of the bread and butter technique. And even in historical European martial arts, there are a few techniques where this comes in. One example of what you can do. So if I come in here with a cut, he raises up, and then I suddenly grab it like this and thrust over his guard. So that would be a case where I switch to the reverse grip and also hold on to the guard. So that's pretty unorthodox. You see that in the manuals show up sometimes. You want to experiment a little bit with this and to see what it can do and what it cannot. So if I stand here, of course, depends. Different people have different opinions on this. Some say you need to keep it like this because it's for extra close quarters. So if he cuts at me, I just meet it here and then check and come in for the slicing cut. That's one way to do it. I personally find that very limiting because you rely on closing in. And if he is good at retreating, so if he cuts and I come in, he sees that and just steps back, I may actually run into his blade. There are some similarities also with the way you could defend against a thrust. If he throws a thrust at me with the standard grip, I would just push it to the side and then counter thrust or counter cut. If I use it this way, I can still do the same thing, except that thrusting here is really tricky. It takes more time than with a standard grip, so instead it would be better to come in with this kind of slicing cut. And I find this is what you often end up doing with that grip. It's really more of a draw cut, like a close quarter draw cut, because you just don't have the same kind of power and rotation as you have with a cut like this, say. This is, everything is in line biomechanically, it's all sound. This is really my maximum effective reach with that. Whereas standard grip is here. Thrusts, of course, are quite easy with this. Straight thrust with this, I mean, you can kind of do it, but it's sacrificing reach and makes it a little more awkward. You can always point out, well, if this doesn't work, you can do another thing. But really my main point here is this is more limiting than this, because for one, the different cuts here, I can do all the angles. And all of them are pretty easy. This one here is the most awkward, I feel, but it's still perfectly fine. This is a little awkward. Those are okay. This is impossible. I mean, you can't get any proper edge alignment like this. Biomechanically, it's completely broken. This is good. This is really the best kind of cut with the reverse grip. It's kind of equivalent to this, very easy. And this side is also quite easy. So high guard here, yeah, that's okay. If you throw a cut at me, that's all right. Other side, again, I can do that. Checks, yeah, I can do. This really relies on the guard because it rides up against the hand. So if you use a sword without a guard, checking like this is going to cut your hand, period. So that's a bit of an issue. And that's kind of the main theme here. Yes, you can do this. It's viable, but there are very few things that it does better than this grip. Thrusts in the icepick grip, I mean, this is very powerful, of course, no doubt about it. You can do it with a standard grip as well. You just have to angle your body differently. So instead of coming straight on like this, it's better to sidestep, and this is the same kind of structure. We found one situation where this is kind of neat. If he throws a cut at me, whether or not I parry, whatever, but I step to the side, and now I have this, that is a pretty good thrust. Right here, there's a lot of rotation on the body. This is more awkward in that case. So this is one situation where, yeah, absolutely, this is more viable than this. But of course, you always have other options as well. If I'm already over here, I might as well cut his hamstrings. So it's not like it's an exclusive deal. Okay, so just for fun, we're gonna try a bit of slow work to see how this goes. Yeah, let's have at it. I have to really adjust it because this kind of parry and counter is not really a good idea, I feel. It's just kind of, yeah. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to debunk this kind of grip just by showing that I'm not good with it. Of course I'm not, because I haven't practiced it, but this is really just for fun to see how that goes. I really feel my offensive capabilities are very limited here, because opening with an undercut isn't the greatest thing. So I'm not particularly happy about that. That was very close.
Yeah. Like I find like it's very easy to exploit the shorter measure.
Yes, I have a lot shorter measure this way. Yeah, see, right there. I would have had that.
That would have hit if he had been holding it more.
Exactly, I would have had that with the standard grip, but it's just, it doesn't have the reach. Yeah, again, I would have had that with the other grip. Yeah, I think we can swap.
Yeah.
Of course, feinting always is a good thing, no matter how you fight. That was close.
Yeah, very close.
That could have cut me here.
That was my hand gone though.